Hey guys, this is story 7 or chapter 7, whichever you prefer. It's called The New Lots Boys versus Puerto Rican Turf, round 1. In the early 60s, Sutter Avenue became pretty much a stronghold for the Puerto Rican gangs. So, in order to get anywhere north of Sutter Avenue for any white teenager at the time, you would pretty much take in your life into your hands, and your own life into your hands. Well, this night, it was a Saturday night. It was stifling hot, like 100, I mean, it was really, we were on the corner sweating and couldn't get any relief. So I told the guys about this bowling alley where they had a dance. I think it was a Friday night. I'm not sure. Saturday night. I told our guys an Americana bowling alley. It was in Queens, Ozone Park. Not that far, but I mean, we didn't drive. We didn't have cars. So we had to go to Sutter Avenue. We had to walk to Sutter Avenue. Now, to walk to Sutter Avenue was pretty dangerous. We knew it. There was 11 of us. So, I mean, let's see what happens. So we got there without an incident. That was amazing that we even got there without an incident. So, years. I mean, just a few years ago, you could walk anywhere you wanted to. There was no problem, no mugging, no stabbing, none of that stuff. Then this element moved in. And it became very dangerous for teenagers, especially. At that time there wasn't as many muggings as later, but you'll hear about those too, because it didn't get better. It just kept progressively getting worse, East New York, So we finally get to Sutter Avenue. We're on the north side of the street, up against like a 3-foot wrought iron fence, backed up. Like maybe 3 foot behind that was a 2-story brick building, which was a lot of them in, the tenement buildings in East New York. So we're there up against the wall. And meanwhile, in the street, some Spanish guys, Puerto Ricans are gathering in the street. I mean, now we got like 20 guys, 25 guys gathering in the street, So, I mean, we're like, we consciously probably knew that this was going to happen. I mean, how could you not? I mean, this is the times that it was, So, it was amazing that we even got that far at the bus stop, So, most of these guys were probably, L-Tones, which East New York, or Key Stompers from Cypress Hill Project. This was their turf. There were about 25 of those guys in the street, and literally our backs were up against the wall. I mean, it was a brick building. We're standing there like, okay, what do we do now? They kept gathering. Nothing happened yet. But then as they got closer, I seen the Mick run into the street, and he's yelling running into the street, but they rushed him, and he backed off. He tripped on a curve, and he went down. Well, Mick is one of my best friends, one of my brothers, man. I'm like, no, this ain't going to happen. As they rushed him, I ran in screaming and growling. I was like, motherfucker, I'm gonna destroy. I was pretty much a destroyer. So I just ran in the street at all these guys banging, throwing punches. And the Mick even told me later, he said, I heard that growl. I thought they had a guy like, I said, Richie's covered. I'm covered. If Richie's running in there, I'm covered, And we did. All our guys went to war. Not one guy ran. All our guys went to war. So, I mean, we had Big Davey, we had Bruno, we had Jerry, we had Arnie, the Mick, Charlie Red, Sonny, Flash. I mean, we had some good guys with a lot of heart, man, And, one Puerto Rican guy throws a bat at me, and I sidestep with my head, and just past my head, and it goes on the floor. So I ran over to pick it up, wound up having a big spike sticking out of the head of it, So as the guy was running past me, I told Arnie, grab that motherfucker. So Arnie grabbed him, Charlie Red grabbed him, they held him by the hand, I grabbed him by the hair. Now we're backing off. As we're backing off, I told the Puerto Ricans, I said, listen, you move forward, he's done, I'm killing him, So they stood back for a little while, but then they started to rush us again. Whack, bang, bang. I hit him twice in the head with that nail. Me and Arnie picked him up and threw him through one of the stores on the other side of the bus stop, right through the window into the store. We just picked him up and bang, threw him right through the window, So, and then we started to back up. They started to go. We started to run back to New Lots Avenue. I mean, there's 100 guys in the street, man. But they gave us like a half-ass chase. I mean, they didn't seem. I had to stay back with Davey. Davey was a big guy. Davey must have been at the time. He's 6'3", 2 and change. I'm not sure, 230, 240. But I mean, he couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe myself. Imagine David. So I stood back with him, but I still had that bat, and none of these guys were willing to you know, catch us. It seemed that way. It just seemed that way. They could have caught us real easy. East New York in the early days it seemed to me just a sea of goodwill. I mean, from as early as I can remember, I was playing street games with my friends, Anthony DiVigilio, Louis Pielo, Frankie, and dreaming of my first love, Lilia Spinelli, the cutest blonde who moved to Ozone Park. Broke my heart. She moved to Ozone Park. How am I going to get there? Got to take buses. All right. So, and I did, when I was a kid, I did odd jobs before I worked in a butcher. I collected bottles for the construction sites for 2 cents deposit a piece. I always wanted to work. I shined shoes. I worked in a speedway for $3 for, you deliver 100 circulars like into the projects. And that's what I did. I delivered circulars for $3 for 100. Now, most of my friends would just throw half of them down the sewer, not me. I don't want to be guilty. I don't want to have to dream that I screwed up. I don't want to do that. I was paid, and that was good. That's all I wanted. I wanted to work. I love to work. My first real job was working in my uncle's butcher. You know that by now. On New Lots Avenue, as a delivery boy. I was 12. East New York. Listen. I drove that big bike from East New York to Brownsville to Canarsie to Queens. I mean, I drove for the sum of $10 6 days, 6 plus tips, for 6 days a week, and I was happy to do it, man. After school, But everything was cool. I didn't get. I felt good. I felt, I'm still working out every single day, working hard at this. Only on weekends I want to go out, But the city politicians rapidly developed into, the city politicians, the system believed that they needed to control the new social media movement that was rapidly developing in parts of the city with lower income, where people felt the intrusion and the frustration. I believed in hard work and all its benefits, but there were strangers among us with unfamiliar personality patterns. Power always thinks it has a great soul and vast view. Consider what calamities that engine of grief has produced. Politicians, it never changed. New York was a liberal city, and they dumped everything on us. They didn't. They dumped it all. And I was like, in my school, and I couldn't help it. And if you think I'm going to fight every day, you're going to walk the streets. I'm not. I am. I'm going to do what I got to do, to walk these streets, And again, I worked at it. So if I knock you out, I work at this. You better work. You want to fight me? You better work at it. All right? All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao, ciao.